5 o'clock. We'll call meeting of the July 10th Sumner County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Let the record show that we have one member not here. We have approval of June 12th meeting minutes. Is there a motion? Motion. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Show me abstaining. Not here. We have approval of the July 10th BZA agenda. Are there any changes? I would like at this time to enter the meeting materials into the record. We've got the regular meeting materials and the Sumner County zoning report. All right, we have the first item of business is Donald Rippey is requesting a special exception to operate a temporary borrow pit on says subject property, which is 1470 Berkeley Branch Road. Sydney, sure.
All right. So this is where the property is in relationship to the county, and as Mr. Ramey noted, it is 1470 Brinkley Branch Road, Hendersonville. This is a special exception to request a temporary use for a borrow pit. This was where the request was noticed as required by state law. And this is an aerial view of the overall property with the 45 acres. And this is an enlarged aerial view that shows the area that is actively under disturbance. All right. Now getting to the presentation information. The property is zoned rural preservation and is identified on tax map 101 as parcel 24. The property owner is Donald Rippey, and the property contains approximately 42 acres. The property owner is seeking a special exception for temporary use to operate a temporary borrow pit in accordance with Chapter 11, Section 1101, subsection 0, regulating temporary borrow pits. Approximately 3 acres have been disturbed for the borrow pit activity at this point. The adjoining property owners were notified by certified mail, and the item was advertised in the Gallatin News and Hendersonville Standard on June 26, 2025, per the public notice requirements. All right. So the request for the special exception temporary borrow pit. The zoning compliance and land disturbance approval was initially granted in May of 2020 for less than an acre to fill a pond and to create an area for parking and logging. Those permits were renewed in December of 2023 for the same uses. In February of 2025, the intensity of the use increased beyond what was permitted by the zoning compliance and land disturbance permits. The property owner then submitted a zoning compliance form in February of this year and was directed to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a special exception for a temporary borrow pit, which is the item before the board this evening. A borrow pit is defined as an area from which soil or other unconsolidated material is removed from a piece of property to be used without further processing either on-site or off-site as fill for activities such as landscaping, building construction, or highway construction and maintenance. It's a lay-down yard where they can bring in material or remove the material essentially. And this is in the Sumner County zoning resolution. All right, and the standards for the borrow pit that are in the Sumner County zoning resolution, I have listed each standard there for you, and then out to the right, if it's in blue, the condition is met. If it's in red, the condition is not met. So I will go through those for you. All right. a boundary survey of the subject property showing the limitations of excavation shall be submitted at the time of application. So you can note here, a boundary survey was not submitted prior to work or in conjunction with the BZA application. As of this point, we have not received that. B, the borrow pit shall be set back a minimum of 50 feet from all property lines and 150 feet from any residential property line. Sufficient information has not been provided. C, borrow pits shall not occupy or cover more than 25% of any lot area. In this case, the 10% of any lot area of 2.5 or 2.5 acres, whichever is greater, since he has property over 40 acres. All requirements, and again, sufficient information has not been provided. D, all requirements of the county stormwater management resolution must be met. Drainage and erosion control plan must be submitted and approved by the county engineer consulting with the county road superintendent prior to commencement of the excavation activities. And you can see D, this was not done. E, a road bond for the amount to be determined by the county engineer and county road superintendent, along with a maintenance plan for the road, shall be submitted prior to commencement of extraction activities. This was not done. F, a reclamation plan shall be submitted to and approved by the county engineer prior to commencement of excavation activities. That was not done. G, prior to excavation, the landowner and/or operator must obtain all federal, state, and local permits, including but not limited to land disturbance and by the storm water management regulations. So G, no notice of coverage was provided, and the land disturbance permit previously obtained does not cover the excavation activities. All right, H, unless otherwise specified in the temporary use permit, permits for a borrow pit shall be valid for 6 months with a one-time 3-month extension that may be approved by the planning director. The Board of Zoning Appeals has the discretion on the term limit. So you can make it shorter or longer if you like. I, no blasting in association with the borrow pit operation shall take place except between the listed hours. And so the hours of operation are not confirmed. All right. J, excavation excluding blasting and hauling of materials limited to the hours between sunrise and sunset. And again, the hours of operation have not been confirmed. K, dust control and erosion control measures shall be implemented on a continuing basis for the duration of the activities permitted to mitigate air pollution and prevent the deposit of mud, dust, and debris on public roads. So K, substandard erosion control measures have been installed. Dust and mud have been noted. Applicant has been responsive. L, the owner and operator of the borrow pit shall be jointly responsible for compliance with the requirements of this section. Required licenses shall be issued to the operator of the respective borrow pit. Owners of the land shall receive a copy of the required license issued to the operator. And the county has met with the owner and operator, and no such license have been issued. All right, and N, and O all pertain to the future reclamation of the site. So that is not really under review or pertaining, to the findings at this time. All right. Here we have the zoning compliance applications that were submitted. The first land disturbance permit was issued in May of 2020, which was just prior to the planning department instituting the zoning compliance application requirements. So there's not one on file for that. But here you can see the original request for the renewal in 2023. And then also in 2025, it may be hard to see there, but it notes that it's for parking and logging. And then this is the one that came in 2025 of this year, and it says Board of Zoning Appeals approval is required. At that time, no Board of Zoning Appeals application was submitted. Typically, there's other items that are required with the application for a special exception, especially pertaining to the temporary borrow pit requirements to show that they need those. All right, this is the business summary that was submitted with that February zoning compliance application, in which the applicant noted that there would be 4 dump trucks on some days, 5 customers, 2 employees. They estimated about 2 years, and there was 1 family rental. And there's equipment.
Every 5 minutes. Yeah. 400 dump trucks.
All right. So this is the site plan that was submitted by the applicant. We asked for an area showing the limits of disturbance. And so this is what the applicant submitted. And then here are the land disturbance permits. Again, I kind of noted here that the request was for pond repair and leveling for parking and logging. In one of the permit that was issued in 2023 would have expired in June of 2025. So while this was ongoing, and they can ask for a 6-month extension. So the stormwater manager granted an extension till the date of this meeting to allow determination to be made by this board. And at that point, if it is not approved this evening, that permit expires. If it is approved, then they would need to get additional approval. All right, this is the special exception application to appear before the board this evening. And again, the request was to level land, to build a barn, and to direct water to the pond on the property, requesting a special exception to conduct a borrow pit. Okay, and here we get into the photos. This is the site. We always show the public notice with the sign, which is just something that we as the county put up and require for all hearings before the Board of Zoning Appeals. And I like to take people on as you enter the site and as you get deeper into the site, so you'll see the progression as we go through the site here. This is as you come in. This is a little deeper into the site. And you can see there several vehicles.
Yeah. 6 of them sitting there right now.
Yeah.
And more. And more. And more. So there are about 10 to 11 vehicles at the time that these photos were taken by staff. All right. So the required findings of fact, as outlined in the Sumner County zoning resolution, which are the basis for whether or not to approve or deny a special exception, are noted here. Number 1, so designated, located, and proposed to be operated so that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Number 2, will not adversely affect other property in the area in which it's located. Number 3, conforms to all applicable provisions of this resolution for the district in which it's to be located and is necessary for public convenience in that location, and if applicable meets the specific standards below. And number 4, shall be so located as to be compatible with the surrounding area and provide safety to those using the facility. All right, so the staff interpretation of those findings, number 1, is so designed to be so designed, located, and proposed to be operated so the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Staff interpretation is that the use commenced without permits. Adequate information has not been provided to evaluate the safety and the public health of this request. Number 2, will not adversely affect other property in the area which it is located. The use commenced without permits. The county has received numerous verbal complaints regarding traffic impacts. 3, conforms to all provisions of this resolution for the district in which it is to be located and is necessary for public convenience in that location and meets the specific standards. Staff interpretation is that it does not conform to temporary borrow pit regulations found in Chapter 11, Section 1101 of the county zoning resolution. And 4, shall be located so as to be compatible with the surrounding area and provide safety to those using the facility. Staff interpretation, the use commenced prior to staff review. The Board of Zoning Appeals may look at the use in context of the surroundings to make a determination on compatibility and safety. And finally, the example motions for the board to consider. 1, to approve the request and find that all county special exception standards are met, and to approve the request for a special exception for 1470 Brinkley Branch Road contingent upon all of the zoning, building, and land disturbance permits being obtained, all timeframes and requirements for borrow pit allowances to be met, all proposed expansion of the use shall be approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals prior to being undertaken by the applicant, property owner, or contractor. 2, to deny the special exception request for 1470 Brinkley Branch Road based on the finding that the county requirements for borrow pits are not met, and to order that the site be restored and reclaimed in accordance with the county zoning resolution. Or 3, to defer this item for 1 month in order to obtain additional information. And that concludes my presentation.
Sydney, thank you. Joe, do you have anything you want to add to this?
Her presentation seemed
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. We have several people signed up to speak, and we want to hear from you, but I'm going to set forth a few ground rules. We're going to limit your speech to, or your speaking to 3 minutes. We do not want to hear that the grass is green 50 times. If you hear, if you have something different from what your predecessor said, please tell us. But you each have sat here and seen the presentation from the staff as we have. So, at that being said, and lastly, I don't want any clapping, applause, anything. We're trying to hold just a quiet, civil meeting. And that being said, what we'll ask is when I call your name, come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and then tell us what you have to say. And let me turn this on. All right, first one signed up is Mark Shred.
Photos, truck counters and stuff. Talking to Josh told me to spread around to give to you guys one for the file. Speak at this moment.
Yes. State your name and address for the record.
It's Mark Charette, 1394 Brinkley Branch Road. Well, I had a speech, but you covered a lot of the things I had in it, so. But I was told by you guys that we were going to allow him to operate as long as he kept it reasonable. 40 to 60 dump trucks, 10 to 12 hours a day, not reasonable. it's a full-fledged commercial operation. And I'm assuming it was allowed because of the ash pond at the TVA. And we're just concerned with how you guys are allowing to run so many trucks on a road that is a 1 3/4 lanes wide. Places has multiple blind corners, several skid marks on the road proving to the blind corner narrow lanes due to the trucks about hitting each other or worse, one of us neighbors. And Mr. Rippey also has no care in the world to keep the street clean with dirt, mud, and rocks. He's been shut down at least 3 times that I know of. And it's a constant mess down here. So he has already shown you guys in several ways. He is also going to abuse his temporary permit. So I ask the zoning board, do not approve this temporary borrow pit. Thank you for your time on this matter.
Thank you. Colin Shell.
Hello, I'm Colin Shell Jr. I own land on Brinkley Branch Road. I live at 1558 Brinkley Branch Road. I'm very concerned about our road. First of all, I'd like to say to the commissioners that are here tonight, thank you for being here. And I'd like to say that Mr. Thomas Raymer was a good friend of mine. And he had one of the best cattle farms in Sumner County. He'd be turned over in his casket right now if he knew he's been hauled off in trucks. And they're running our road. I witnessed a truck going down Brinkley Branch Road. The empty trucks were stopping, pulling off the road. And the trucks that were loaded, one was in front of me. He kept going. He never slowed down. That's dangerous. And both the 2 trucks, dump trucks, slid about 3 foot, damaging the people's property. They couldn't stop on the dime. They had to slide. So I guess that's happening all up and down Long Hollow Pike, and Station Camp, Lower Station Camp. I called the highway department this morning. I talked to a lady, and she said that there needed to be 40-foot right-of-way on Brinkley Branch Road. I done 4 measures. I measured it first. It was 24.5 feet. The second place I measured was below my house. I live at 1558. There used to be a house down the road there, and it measured 19.8. Then the next place was in the curve where the big hole come in the concrete. Well, not the concrete, the pavement. And they put rock in it. I don't understand this. They put rock in this deep hole, and somebody's gonna wreck right there. It's dangerous, very dangerous. I don't know why they didn't put tar back in it, but they didn't. I'd like to know if I decide to sell my 120 acres, what would this property selling for now? What will it do to my property? Can anybody say anything?
That's not in our purview.
Right, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shell.
I think that's it anyway.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Chastity Choate.
Hello, I live at
Please
798.
state your name.
Oh, Chastity Choate. I live at 798 Weeping Willow Road. I'll try to keep this quick. I'd like to formally express concern regarding the safety, condition, and capacity of the county road, Brinkley Branch, and to inform all relevant parties that this road is not suitable for regular dump truck traffic. Brinkley Branch is a narrow rural county road that was not constructed to accommodate the weight and frequency of such heavy truck traffic. The ongoing activity is creating hazardous conditions for local residents and other drivers. Currently, the condition of Brinkley Branch Road has already caused noticeable damage, including rutting, surface cracking, and shoulder erosion due to the constant coming and going of the dump trucks. The road is too narrow to safely accommodate 2 dump trucks passing at the same time, and this has resulted in near-miss incidents, damage to private property, including mailboxes, and situations where other vehicles have been forced off the road. In addition, the large rock that was recently laid down as part of the road repair is unsuitable for standard vehicles. The size of the gravel poses a risk to tires, undercarriages, and overall drivability. It may lead to accidents, especially for those unfamiliar with the road or during poor weather conditions. Due to these safeties and infrastructure concerns, I am respectfully requesting that the hauling of dirt using dump trucks at 1470 Brinkley Branch be stopped immediately. The current level of use is unsafe, unsustainable, and unfair to the residents who depend on this road for daily travel. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Carol and Shell.
Hi, my name's Carolyn Shell. I live at 575 Weeping Willow Road. Good evening. I've lived at 575 for 54 years. I use Brinkley Branch both directions, and these are my concerns. Which you've talked about the roads and how bad they are and what's going on with the dump trucks and everything, but my concern also is for the young and elderly drivers of lack of vision of the small bridges, destructive roads and curves, and also school will be starting back here pretty soon, and we've got young pastors on the school bus that has to turn around from Brinkley Branch and back into Weeping Willow, and we have young drivers coming from White House and a lot of places to Liberty School High School, which creates a lot of traffic there. The biggest concern is the safety and the roads, as they explained it, how they've been tore up and stuff. And I just think it's in our best interest that on 1470 Brinkley Branch, operations are causing concern for unsafe traveling conditions for me and neighbors, and I feel like it would be in the best interest of the operation not to be granted at 1470 Brinkley Branch Road.
Thank you. Cheryl,
Dismukes, I'll save you. I'm Cheryl Dismukes. I live at 1461 Upper Station Camp Creek Road. And what is happening on Brinkley Branch affects us. My husband and I are both retired. We're on our front porch for hours every morning, starting at 5 a.m. this morning. I want to tell you that I feel like if you go along with this plan, you are going against your dedication that I know that you have to safety and welfare of the public. With Liberty Creek, the elementary, the middle school, and the high school being full, it involves all of the commissioners, because we have kids coming from White House, Portland, Westmoreland. These are teenage drivers. We have the soccer moms. They're going to and from the school not once, but several times. When you're an active family, you are back and forth up and down that road just all day long. The road has not been corrected to accommodate the dump trucks that are being allowed to come out there, the volume of the dump trucks, the severely large stones that we see in the back of these uncovered dump trucks. They cannot pass each other without coming off. May 22nd, our teenage granddaughter had a wreck when she left Liberty Creek High School from dance practice to come to our house at 1461 Upper Station Camp. She was ran off the road to avoid a collision. She veered to the right. She said it was a very large white truck with a very overextended trailer that had lots and lots of stuff on it. He, as well as many, many others, are crossing that double yellow line. And so she was able to scooch over to her right, which caused her to shred a front tire, to flatten the back tire. She kept her head together and was able to make her way to a safe driveway. My concern is I'm asking you to live up to the standard that I know that you believe in also, and that's the safety of the children, the volume of teenage drivers, inexperienced drivers that are out there. I believe this is where these big log trucks are coming from. They're not just a small log truck, it's a double trailer log truck, up and down, up and down, up and down. So I'm asking you to intervene on behalf of the children. To lose a child out there is not an option. I'm also a critical care nurse who served in the ER. I can tell you, even if they're going at 35 and they hit another person going at 35, the head injury is almost life-changing always. So I thank you for your time. Like I said, you're all involved because your kids are coming to that school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue Parchman. Ms. Parchman, do you have anything to add over?
You know, I think everybody said really well. I'm thinking I live at 1574 Brinkley Branch Road. The traffic of the dump trucks has increased dramatically over the years. For an example, in recent weeks, I usually go out Sandy Valley from Brinkley, and that you can go either direction. Literally at 6:15 last week, I had 10 dump trucks come beside me. They all are back to back, right behind each other. 6:15 in the morning. They don't allow you any room to move over, to go anywhere. You're gonna have to go off the shoulder. It's just not safe. And Brinkley is not made. The sharp curves on Brinkley, you cannot, those trucks just shouldn't be on the road. They're messing up our shoulders and they just don't belong on Brinkley. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Larry Parchman. Larry Parchman. Do you have anything you can add?
Yeah, a little bit. I live at 1574 Brinkley Branch, Larry Parchman, and I usually, I think, live and let live, let people do what they want with their property as long as it's not affecting other people. But these trucks coming down with their Jake brakes at 6:20 in the morning, and multiple times going out toward Upper Station, there's been 14 trucks on that. Yeah, and it's some of them get over, some of them don't. And that pile of gravel at the end of the driveway is always out on the road, and it was never cleaned up until after this meeting was scheduled. And it's going to cause an accident. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Kim Dixon.
My name is Kim Dixon. I live at 1450 Brinkley Branch Road. If you look at that map, my property is on the right of Mr. Rippey's property. Mr. Rippey happens to be family, so I'm taking a big risk up here. A lot of things have been said are true, and there's some things that have not been. Mr. Rippey has, in the last month or so, he has came and he has tried to do street sweepers and swept the roads. He does try, but as much mud and rain as we've had, it's hard. The big hole that was talked about, that's in our curve there, and it is extremely dangerous right there. That road needs to be fixed. I agree with Larry. It's Mr. Rippey's property. He can do with it what he wants to. But at 5:30 every morning, we are woke up with dump trucks, and it's that way till 5:30 at night. And it's not 4 and 5, it's not 10 and 20. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I will have 7 to 8 dump trucks lined up in front of my house, waiting to turn to go to Mr. Rippey's. This past year, I work at Liberty Creek High School. The school bus driver that does the Brinkley Branch route stopped me. He says, "What is going on next door to you?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "His property." He said, "This morning, and several other mornings, I have been run off the road with students on the school bus by the dump trucks. And this is when there was 10 and 12 dump trucks. Now, with the number of dump trucks going on now, it's gonna be bad when we start school in less than a month. Thank you.
Tim Royer.
My name's Tim Royer. I live at 511 Weeping Willow Road. My property backs up to Mr. Rippey. You've covered about everything here so far, which we appreciate, but as you can see, what you did cover, that he always fails to follow the rules. He just does as he please, and then comes around and it says, when they tell him, well, you gotta get a permit, then we start that process. This borough permit, I'm not sure why we're still here, because he's really already done it. So we talked about the environment, the neighborhood, the safety, and I know you don't want people to clap, but I'd like to ask everybody that's in favor of him not getting this permit to just simply raise your hands. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Sprouse.
I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. Tommy Norris.
My name is Tommy Norris. I live at 1323 Brinkley Branch Road. My family and I live on what's left of the Brinkley farm. I've been there 50 years, so I've got seniority on just about everybody here. Though there's a couple here that was in school when I moved there. But story is, I went through the landfill deal. It was temporary also. It lasted 7 years. Now we've not got dump trucks, we've got earth movers, 12 and 14 wheel earth movers. I stood in my driveway, I don't know how long, just to get to my mailbox the other day, because you can't get out in the road. The road was built over 100 years ago for horse and buggy. Because it's paved and because we've got a concrete bridge now, that 2 trucks can't pass in front of my son's house. They have to wait. School buses couldn't get over the old bridge, but the built one is narrow as the horse and buggy roads. And it hasn't been expanded since then. It cannot constitute those trucks. I've been run off the road. As a matter of fact, 2 sections of my fence was tore out by one of the trucks who almost hit head on, and nobody stopped to fix it. And I doubt if anybody here is going to pat me on the back and say, I'm going to fix your fence. They left. So the road just does not constitute the trucks that goes down it. And how anybody can okay that, I don't know, but we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel Solaire.
Rachel Soulier. I live at 242 Kirkpatrick Drive, which is actually nowhere near this. But I do have 3 teenage boys who drive to Liberty Creek High School every day. Actually, one goes to Middle College, but my nephew lives on Brinkley Branch Road, and he's legally blind, and my son picks him up every single day. I wanted to bring the 2 rocks that I stopped and got off the road in, but I didn't know if that was inappropriate. But I wish you all could visualize. The rocks are this big. My sons are into 80s cars. One drives a Nissan 300Z or something like that. That rock this big in the middle of the road, you can't go around them because they are people, and they just leave them there. They are huge. I've stopped and picked up 2 just to show how large they are to my husband and to show them to my boys and say, you guys really need to pay attention. They don't really go fast on those roads anyways because they're dangerous, but it's just dangerous being there. I was behind a dump truck last week who forgot to put his cover on, and I'm 300 feet back, which is kind of hard to do on that road, but stuff is just going everywhere. Finally, he passed another dump truck who radioed and told him to, and so then he's putting it on as it's going, it overloads it. I'd also like to say that my husband owned a dump truck company and operated a dump truck, and he would never, ever accept this job working with this homeowner because it is so unsafe. So I think you'll have a really easy job based on the criteria for approving this, but I would just like to ask you not to.
Thank you. Ann Wright.
She's good.
Thank you. David Wright.
I move that everybody says.
Thank you. Mary Wells.
1481 Brinkley Branch Road. I think that everyone has already made many of the points that I would have made, but any decision that is made, I think really needs to strongly consider safety. I think we've already heard, we have a school right around the corner, we have a lot of teenage drivers, and it's already not a safe road even before the dump trucks are there. I think also a clear maintenance for the road, even for the existing damage that's occurred, but if anything is approved, definitely a very clear management of that would be necessary. And then also duration. If anything were to be approved, it needs to be very limited. I think that there's already been, as you've already heard, a lot of community kind of impact already. Thank you.
Thank you. John Pelican. We'll move on to whoever lives at 636B Weeping Willow. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce your name.
That's okay. My name is Aaron Brunson. I live at 636B Wigmore Road. I moved out to this area back in 2022 for the school systems, primarily for the opportunity around the surrounding area, just for the life, a good life for my family. This is a really impromptu time to meet the neighbors and concerning the issues of what we have here. I did email the county several weeks ago with pictures prior to the sign being placed. The morning of the sign being placed, the pictures that were there, the person who contacted me back asked when these pictures were taken. This was the day of. And it's already been addressed, the road concern and damage to the road and the surrounding areas. And much as everybody has also said, you know, the concern is safety, public safety of the school system and the kids who are riding on buses.
Do you want me to enter those pictures?
Absolutely, yes. Sir, thank you. The last item I would like to touch on is part of your amendment for approval that this is a rural preservation zoning, right? Land use control of the area is for residential development, but must maintain limits to the work being done to the property. It's also a concern of public health and safety with the debris on the road, as well as the pollutants in the air that's brought up by the dust for people that have hard breathing. So if I would kindly ask that this would not go through. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Troy Lee.
Hi, I'm Troy Lee. I own the property next door to them at 1486 Brinkley Branch. What my concerns are is the flood water runoff onto my property, the damage that's done to my property. They mowed fences down, they pushed trees down. He's built about a 35-foot dam, if you will, that you can actually see from Brinkley Branch up his driveway to the left-hand side. And I mean, I've got construction material that's pushed through my fences, and it's just, anyway, that's what I wanted to, my gripe is, beyond what everybody else has said.
Thank you, sir.
Please take that into consideration.
Yes, sir. Eric Green.
Eric Green, 116 Upper Station Camp Creek Road. And I'm here just to talk about, one, let me start out with, I do not agree with him getting the zoning that he needs to for this, okay? The reason that I'm here is because I have lived at that home. My parents bought it in 1976, and I have lived there on and off throughout my entire life. When my mother passed away in 2021, I put $100,000 into that house for renovation, all right? It was around the time that Liberty Creek was built out there that they widened the road and cut it off right at my driveway. Well, since that time, at that spot, right in front of my driveway, it has been deteriorating. all right? It wasn't until just about a month or so ago that someone from the city came through and actually knocked over my rock, concrete block thing. And then miraculously after that, they actually filled it and replaced it, all right? So now everybody's going through there. But let me say this. From the time that Liberty Creek came in, soon after that, there started to be just truck after truck after truck after truck that was coming through there, starting as early, for me, when I noticed it, it was around 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. And it was nonstop because I did not work, all right, at that time. I took a part-time job here just over the last things, but I've been very fortunate enough that I just decided to do something. So but what I want to also tell you is that with all the noise that's coming through, not only is it waking us up, it's keeping us from being able to enjoy ourselves in our home. I have an iWatch, which is charging itself right now, otherwise I'd be wearing it. But on occasion, I'm not saying every time, but on occasion, it has actually gone off while I'm sitting in my home saying that the decibel levels are loud enough to hurt my hearing. So with that said, there needs to be something. I don't want to stop progress or whatever it is that he's doing. But there does need to be some kind of a sound ordinance, noise ordinance, something going through there. If there is one, then I'm sure it's being broken right now. All right, and with that said, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lyndon Bates.
Lyndon Bates.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to present a bunch of pictures, please. I don't know who you give these to. I sat out in front of my porch and counted upwards of 22 trucks in a half hour going by.
You understand there's a lot of trucks.
I'm sorry. My name is Lyndon Bates, 1330 Brinkley Branch Road.
We've heard about the trucks.
Okay. The road at the widest point, as the gentleman pointed out, is 19.8 feet inches. At narrow points is 15 to 16 feet. These trucks are 10 feet wide. They're dual tandem. Okay. You see the tons of skid marks that I've sent pictures showing where they've almost hit cars. My wife's been run off the road. I've been almost run off the road. We've had animals hit out there. Bicyclists no longer feel safe to ride on the county roads. A lot of this stuff, like I said, is reiterated, but thank you for allowing me to present these issues. I hope you would not consider allowing the variance. I realize it's probably a multi-million-dollar contract, but this is causing us issues, damaging the road, and clearly safety issues, concerns. Again, the pictures, I think, will show what I have sat out there for 10, 15 minutes and taken. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Wanda Doris.
Hi, my name is Wanda Doris. Wanda Goetz Doris. I live at 1201A Brinkley Branch Road. We do live on the farm with our father-in-law. We do live in the original Brinkley homestead that was built in 1800 and something. In 1991, my husband and I, parents built a farm. We purchased it. I've been there a long time too. The only thing that I'm concerned is that our house sits right up off the ground, and I have to commend the noise. I can't sit on my porch on my farm, our 30-acre farm, because there's so many trucks. I'm not complaining about the trucks. I'm complaining I can't hear myself in my home with my TV. I can't sit out on my porch. When I come home from lunch, sometimes in a hurry. There'll be trucks sitting talking to each other. They will not move for me, and I'm limited. I don't blow my horn because I'm not a horn blower. So I wait till they finish. They cannot pass in front of our house. That is correct. And so just asking that y'all take everything into consideration. And again, being from political family, I thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Sam Harmon.
Hello, I'm Sam Marmon. I live at 1329 Brinkley Branch Road.
So the operation that we're talking about is very dirty. There's not any measures taken to prevent dirt from getting into the road or into the branch. And all that dirt goes into the Old Hickory Lake. It's extremely loud. It's many of the dump trucks are not muffled at all. They're running their jake brakes. So I don't think they're operating legally. There should be enforcement out there for both their speed and their noise. And it isn't safe. And one of the safety issues that hasn't been brought up is that there are many very mature trees that grow right on the edge of the road, and they actually grow up and come over. So where the road is 17 to 18 feet wide, these trucks are 13 and a half feet tall. They can't ride on the shoulder of the road, or they would hit the trees that are in county right-of-way on that roadway. So there hasn't been any work done by the county on the right-of-way to allow this kind of operation to be conducted and safely. It's just totally unsafe and unprofessionally managed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard from several people. We've heard your concerns. That being said, I'm going to close the public hearing. We have, Board, we have before us a request that has not had a single guideline set forth by Sumner County, except for filling out the forms. What's the will of the board?
So can you put example motions? I'd like to make a motion to deny this example motion number 2, because I don't see any way this is conformed to chapter 11, section 1101 of the county zoning resolution or requirements.
We have a motion
A second.
and a second. Discussion. We've all heard it. We pretty easy to read the great presentation that we were given. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Joe, if you post that first thing in the morning, and let's get it shut off there. Anything else to come before?
The next item of business is just to acknowledge the administrative renewals that have passed both planning and codes inspections for the month of July. That's 165 West Roberts Road.
And then final motion.